Paul, I very much enjoyed your speech today. I think one of your major strengths, which helps the audience really understand what you're talking about, is you're very clear, not only with your words, but also your voice. You have a very calming voice to the point where it really helps bring the audience to feel the emotions of what you're talking about. I felt today was a very solemn perspective. You definitely took us to that solemn perspective as well, which is very helpful for the audience. I like the premise of your speech as well. I think that's a great topic to focus on, especially given your speaking style that matched up with you very well. I really like the word you use, which is disconnectedness. I also very much, I know it was a solemn speech. I got a little chuckle out of your reference to the AARP stat there. I thought that was a very good, I guess, item to input into the speech, especially because that kind of fit along well with your whole premise. A few things I want you to work on. It relates much to the structure of your speech. I felt like your speech was a long introduction, and then you had the three things that you suggested as its conclusion. I would have liked to see you to elaborate on those three items there, because I thought they were an amazing three items that really helped us combat what we were facing, the premise that you kind of told us. And I think that that's a great premise that's relatable to all of us. And I really want to have the three things be hashed out in a bit more detail. The introduction that did seem a bit on the neoplasm, right? Not really, not really. So I would have liked you to make the intro a bit shorter and concise. I think the ARP stat was a great way to bring that in there. And then in addition to that, really focus on those three items that you brought to us, because those were three great suggestions that I very much enjoyed. Along with that, I think something that could have helped enhance the speech a little bit more is the title. Maybe you use that word disconnectedness. I really enjoyed that word. I thought that word was great, because I think that was exactly embodiment of what you're talking about. I'm not quite sure if the title really represented what your speech was talking about, because that it's more of an abrupt title, and this disconnectedness is something that kind of evolves over time. So I would have liked to have that related to title, because the title I don't think matched up with the premise quite. So disconnectedness was a great word to use. Maybe that is in your title there. With that, Paul, I think, like I said, you have some great speech qualities when you do speak, which is you're very clear. You bring us to a solemn, emotional state that matches the premise of your speech, which I think is awesome and very powerful. And you use a lot of support to support what you are talking about. Overall, Paul, great speech. And back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much for that speech, Tom. Could you give us a timer's report, Sterling? You need to unmute first.